Hey, what up everyone? I'm Sinnycool, and this is Gems of War. And today we're going to be going over the new Mythic troop, Ghost King Grimhorn, with the team and a key opening, and then we'll go into the Vault event, showing you how to farm that, get the most keys you can, get the most loot you can. But let me set this stream up, and we'll get going. I gotta get rid of the ghost train. Hopefully I got some fans going. Let me know how it sounds. New setup. We've been testing it this week. So far so good, kinda. We had one little hiccup on a Gems of War stream. The only other Gems of War stream we did, which was the weekly preview. A super late weekly preview. But, you know, still did it anyway on Wednesday. And, like, we started the stream and then the stream ended, like, in 25 seconds. So, I've had a couple mic issues. Hopefully everything goes okay. But I do have a thumbnail, so let me put that in before we share it out. And you know, buried me a little bit just for taking a few days off. I told y'all that's how they operate. I'm already not the most popular with them because I used to do pre-recorded videos every single day, and then I decided to switch into live streaming, which on YouTube, live streaming is not the greatest thing to be doing, but that's what we're doing, and it's been working this year so far. Up until about last month, this month, it works pretty good for most of the year. But let's get everything going here. So we're gonna have to get back into it, basically. I'm gonna have to be streaming every day. I'm gonna have to, like, not get my butt hurt, my feelings hurt, and we're gonna have to just get it back going. Like, let them know that we're still here. All I did was move location. It did take a couple days. Even right now, I still got things to do that I may not be able to do a stream here and there. But we're trying to get back into the groove of at least like every other day or something. Alright, I do have the thumbnail up, but once again, you have to give it a few minutes to actually pop. So I'd say 5-minute mark maybe at least. Give it a couple minutes to settle in. And make sure the ads are on as low as they can be. Get my chapters ready. Okay, let's check the monetization. Let's make it as low as it'll go. Conservative, and even that, phew, maybe that's another reason. Like, if I put it on aggressive, I bet you they would share it out more. But since I don't want to bombard y'all with ads, they're probably not showing my... Like, people said they didn't even get notifications yesterday. We streamed yesterday, if you didn't know. We did Puzzle Quest 3, and it was like the lowest. It was like probably the worst stream we've done in the last whole year. It was pretty poopy. But yeah, it wasn't all the sudden stream of a game that we're only kind of playing for a little bit. So, I mean, it was like an S storm, the perfect recipe for a poop sandwich. So, you know, I got to keep that in mind. Alright, I see Sauna, I see Big Slab, which is OG Thirsty. I saw your comment. Lester's here. Lester's hard banana. That's funny. Sauna with the gifted went to Mr. Z, alright. Got Mark with the 2, thank you so much. Just because you can, thumbs up to that, and I'll heart it. I just realized I could heart those. Chad got the first heart yesterday. Alright. And my laptop's deciding to freeze up, likes to do. So here we go, the new Mythic troop is Ghost King Grimhorn, exclusive to Glory Gem, Guild, and VIP chests for 1 week only. Didn't bring a drink. Alright, we got Treasure Vault, gnomes everywhere, increased chances of treasure gnomes and more vault keys this weekend. We'll go over that after we do the new Mythic. Let me grab my tribute. And yes, it's on conservative, so I'm sorry if you see ads, just hit next, hit skip, whatever you gotta do to get through them. It does help a lot, but I know it's annoying to some people. We've had 1 or 2 people that won't even come to the streams anymore, just because YT decided to change how they do ads on live streams. It's not even my fault. So that's pretty crazy, I feel. But it is what it is. I'll put a chapter in so you can skip all the setting up the stream nonsense here. Waiting music, waiting music. Hit that like button. Turn in your ticket. That will get more people here. At least it should. It's usually how it works. Alright. I think I'm ready to go. Lester's hard banana. You never got a notification, Mark? Somebody else said that too. Multiple people said they did not get a notification yesterday, even though they have the bell ding-donged. Mark says, spent all my resources on my phone and didn't get it again for the second month. My phone account is cursed. OG says, that's why I was suggesting you play Throne and Liberty. It's a brand new free-to-play game. Maybe if you get on early, you can blow up with new subscribers before everyone... we're doing alright on subscribers. It's like every other metric that we need to get. Like, I'm getting more subscribers now than I was getting, like, a year ago. It's pretty nuts, and I do appreciate it. And that's one thing Puzzle Quest 3 has done for the channel, I think. Could be EverQuest. I did do a couple pretty big EverQuest videos in the last month or two. But it's got to be somewhat Puzzle Quest 3 with the, like, we're getting... If you want to know... Okay, so we got pretty low on subscribers. We hit the glass ceiling of the Gems of War subscribers, I feel. And we were only getting, like, 20 or 30 subscribers a month. Which is pretty low. That's the lowest I've ever had. Like, I was getting like 60 a month there for a while, which was pretty low too, but, you know, it was whatever. It was fine. I was fine with that. You know, a couple a day, whatever. It was still going up, you know, so I can't be mad at it. We're getting like 100, and we're getting like double, triple, quadruple subscribers, right? We're getting over 100 a month. We're getting like 120 or something a month right now, which is pretty crazy, and I really don't know why, except for the Puzzle Quest 3 is the only, like, different thing we're doing, so it's gotta be that, right? So that's, like, in the positive column for Puzzle Quest 3 is the subscribers, but everything else is in the negative column, so it's kinda, it's like, what do you do? So we might be able to get to 10K just off of, if I just kept playing Puzzle Quest 3 for the next, like, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, we probably could get to 10K a little bit faster. But we're not really looking for that. Like, that's nice and everything, but I really want to see, like, more views, more, you know, train business, I guess. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm trying to help people not spend money on the game. I don't feel terrible about saying it. Like, I'm keeping you from spending 20, 30, 50, 60, hundreds of dollars on a game, so, you know, if I can get a little bit of that instead, that'd be great. But yeah, let's go open some chests. First thing we gotta do, put in a chapter, so people watching after don't have to listen to all that stuff. So chapter first, we'll say New Mythic, opening, and we're at the 9-minute mark. Alright, save. Pretty safe to share it out if you haven't done so already. And yeah, Cooking Man 420. I don't know why I say your name like that all the time. I gotta get back into streaming too. Gotta get back in my groove too. Okay, so first thing you do with the New Mythic is you make sure that people are getting it. So go to chat. Here it is. Ghost King Grimhorn is there, so we know that we can get it. We see Mark got it. That's Mark right there. So Mark just got it. Congratulations. So we know we're able to get it. Next thing we do, let's go look at it. Let's go look at it. See what we're going for here. Here he is. So 24 blue, green, red, drag, zum, undead, dwarf. Deal true damage to the first 2 enemies. Convert all yellow gems to doom skulls to boost the effect. Conjure a Doomstorm when matching 4 or more gems. He's undying. Sounds okay. Sounds okay. I like true damage. I like true damage to multiple enemies. I think the second half of the spell is like a nothing burger. Convert all yellow gems to doom skulls to boost the effect. I guess if you have like a ton of yellow on the board, you can boost up that damage. But, you know, there's stuff out there, like right now in the Soul Forge, you got Tesla. If you're on PlayStation, because I know SoulForge is all messed up, the devs have it messed up. Some people on different platforms don't have the same things that I have right now, which has never been the case. Like, for the last 3, 4, 5 years, the SoulForge has been the same if you go platform to platform. It's always been the same. Pretty sure. It's been that way for a while, at least. So, but right now, in my SoulForge, there is Tesla, who is probably better than this guy. Just first impression, Tesla hitting all enemies with true damage, boosting off of armor, which is a really easy stat to get. She's just a legendary with a lower mana cost, 50% start with Holy Saint Astra, who's also in the SoulForge. You could go invest in that instead and probably be better off than using this guy. Because Tesla can wipe everything out in one shot, all 4 enemies, boost easier, probably with a better boost ratio, with a lower mana cost, etc. This guy's 24 mana cost, only going to kill 2 enemies, and is harder to boost. So, you know, but he's not bad either. It reminds me of that owl that hits the first 2 enemies with true damage, maybe. Grimfeather, maybe? Grimhorn, Grimfeather. You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know. It's not bad, though. Just reading it off the card here without having it. I would say B-, C+. There's no crazy, like, this Conjure a Doomstorm, Magic 4 or more gems is nothing crazy like a Takshaka or a Pharaoh Khafru or anything. That's nice, but you really would have to be going for quite a while. He's not going to loop. He's not going to do 4 or more gem matches, so you're going to have to put something else on your team that's going to do that to conjure the Doomstorm. It's not like he's going to be able to make his own Doomstorm. Something else, you have to, like, account for that. And then even if you do account for that, having a Doomstorm falling, like, the boost is off converting yellow gems to Doomskulls, right? It's not off of, like, how many Doomskulls are on the board, right? So, like, that doesn't really help his boost ratio. All that helps is having more Doomskulls on the board, so you can then match them, I guess. Which isn't exactly... We're going for true damage. We're killing enemies with true damage. We're not trying to do a Skull team. So he's kind of a weird mixture of Skulls and true damage. Which, I don't know. Maybe he'd go good with, like, Lord of Slaughter or something. Maybe. So then you could do true damage to the first 2 enemies and hit the first enemy with true Skull damage. So it might be cool with, like, Lord of Slaughter. But I don't know. We'll see. Alright, let's go get it. Remember to reset your game, turn your game off, turn it back on. Don't leave the game on all night from Thursday until Friday, or else you might not get the new Mythic. Check and make sure people are getting it in your guild, in global, and then start opening keys. Another thing to mention is it's the only Mythic available right now. You can't get any other Mythic in the game through keys. Glory keys, gem keys, guild seals, VIP keys, all that stuff. The only Mythic you're going to get right now is this guy. So once you get him, you're going to keep getting him. It's not like once you get him, okay, now you can go get Ironhawk and High King Irongut and Takshaka and Pharaoh Khafru. No, that's not how it works. You know, Ghost King Grimhorn is the only thing available. So you will just keep getting him over and over and over and over all week. All week. So don't open more keys after you get him. Unless you're purposely going for 2 or 3 or whatever you're doing, there's not a lot of Mythics in the game where you need 2 or 3, except for like Ironhawk, Takshaka, Pharaoh Khafru, Eye of Argus. You know, there's a couple where 2 is okay to do, like Tina and maybe this guy, but if you get 2 of them, you should definitely not get 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. Like, what's the point? So stop opening keys after you get 1, and then maybe, you know, look into it a little bit more. Maybe we get 2, but I don't really advise it usually. Because you could find something else that will complement the new Mythic instead of getting 2 of them and wasting keys. And they have the same mana. And they're, you know what I mean? So you could find something like Tina, who uses a different mana color, also does true damage. And that would go well with him. Instead of doing 2 of the dwarf, you know, you could do something else that's better. Maybe even Tesla or Lord of Slaughter, like I was saying. But let's open some keys and see if we can get it. I'm going to do glory keys first because I get gems when I open glory keys. It's just like a high-level thing to do. It's one of the lowest chances, but you do have a chance. I'll get some gems here. 36. Chat with a 2 with a 2. Thank you so much, man. Good to see you yesterday. It was, the train was light. Look at that, man. I got super lucky. Got super lucky. That was my second glory key open, and I got it. I got really lucky there. So there we go. We got him. So we'll make a team. See what we can do. It can always be said that for certain restrictions, this guy might be the best, but, you know, that's like you're the best at, whatever. The shorts marathon race, you know? Like, you're not good at running or racing or like anything else. It's just like in that very specific situation where everyone's wearing super tight shorts. You are the fastest. And you might win. But they only hold that race like once a year. So you're gonna win. You're gonna win. Maybe you win once a year because you're really good at running with the super tight short shorts on. So he's good when it's the super tight short shorts race. But every other day and every other race, in normal races and regular races, and anytime there's a competition and it's open to everything, he's probably not the best. But in that one situation where it's Draxum dwarves, exactly, on that one day, every 72 weeks, once every 72 weeks, when it's the Draxum dwarf restriction, he might be the best option. So, or PvP maybe, or something like that. But, you know, he's the best at the super tight short shorts race, is what he's the best at. He's not the best at just normal racing, and he's not the best at just everything. He's just in that very specific situation. He might be the best. So, I hate when people say that. I mean, I don't hate it. It's something to mention, but it's not like, hey, everybody should get it because he's going to be the best for Draxum Dwarves. Like, who cares? That's just once every 72 weeks or something. So, it's not a reason to blow all your keys to get this guy. But he's not bad either, like I said. True damage is always good. If you see true damage, it's usually a good indicator of a decent troop. He's hitting multiple enemies. That's another good indicator of a decent troop. He has a boost ratio. That's always welcome. But then, like, his traits aren't that great. You would love to see something else, something better. Especially, like, that last slot is okay. It's just like an okay trait. The second slot, who cares? The first slot, who cares? Like, it'd be nice if he had 3 good traits or a really awesome third trait. Something like that. So for me, just looking at it, like I said, maybe a C+. But we'll have to use it, like always. And it's the first day. It's the morning of the first day. So my advice to most people is don't jump out of bed. Don't helicopter out of bed, you know, and run and hurry up and get it. No one cares who got it first. There's not a better chance of getting it the sooner you get it or anything. No one's looking at the chat to see who got it first or anything. No one cares. Just get it after you see if it's good or not. That's the smartest thing to do. Everybody will think you're smart if you're getting it like Sunday night or Monday morning or sometime later down the line, because they're like, oh, that person must have looked into it a little bit more, and you know, they were deciding whether to get it or not. They didn't just like hop out of bed and hurry up and run and drool all over their keyboard and hurry, I gotta get it. Like, that's like not thinking. You're not using your brain. You're just, I gotta get it. It's a new mythic. Hurry up. So, well, yeah, I would keep saving. I think if I was a beginner, well, beginners open all their keys. So, sometimes, I don't know though. With my new account, when there was a new mythic, I would like not open keys that week unless it was something awesome. Mid game, you're probably either about to stop opening keys all the time because you have most of the legendaries and most of the epics and whatnot, so there's not as many things that you could get from opening random keys, so you start saving them for the good new mythics. A perfect example is like Takshaka and Pharaoh Khafru and Ironhawk, where you need three, and they were new mythics at a certain time. So you save up your keys, that way you have enough for when something like that comes into the game. That way when Takshaka comes into the game, you have enough keys to keep opening until you get 3 of them. When Ironhawk comes into the game, you have enough keys to keep opening until you get 3 Ironhawks. If we just get every single new mythic every time, then you're going to have less keys. It's just a fact. You used the keys to get this new mythic, so now you're down however many keys you used to get this new mythic, which you could have used on something like Takshaka, Ironhawk, Pharaoh Khafru, where you need 3 of them, and they all came in as new mythics at some point in time. So it's just like thinking ahead and not drooling over the new mythic just because it's new. Let's see what the chat's saying. Classics here. Dr. Mops is here. Banana Man. Mark, oh no, Sana, you didn't get it. Mark says you can cry with me, Sana. 2nd month in a row, no new mythic on mobile account. Mark says took me 20,000 guild seals and 200 gem keys to get it this morning on PS5. Yeah, I just saw you got it on the guild chat. Do karate on the like button. I agree. Mark, doesn't Diamantina have a Doomstorm trait? I think it does. Diamantina. It does boost off of Doom Skulls, you're right. We don't use Diamantina as much anymore because of Stellarix, but if you're stuck with just Diamantina, deal damage to all enemies boosted by Skulls. So it's boosted by Skulls, so you're probably better off with a Skull Storm than a Doom Skull Storm. Doom Skulls don't fall as often as regular Skulls. And since it just boosts off of regular Skulls, you could go with regular Skulls instead and probably be better off. Diamantina you would use until you get Stellarix, and then you switch over to Stellarix, and you pretty much never see Diamantina again. Except for on defend teams where it's actually Stellarix. That's a good thought, though. I like the way you're thinking. I know I got lucky, man. I don't even need to get lucky. Better than Fallen Vowdies, you're right. We could start... Hey, it's better than Fallen Vowdies. It's better than Gargantuar. It's better than Death. It's better than Famine. It's better than all those Apocalypse Mythics. It's better than Sacred Treasure. It's probably better than Suna, but it's like around there. It's like a Suna. We got Funky Town, Texas in the house. Mark says I ground PvP to 600... Man, I didn't even finish my PvP. I thought it was going to be easy to get all the VP to get all the rewards, but when you're on free-to-play and you're only getting rewards like every 3rd or 4th time or whatever it is, it's not as exciting. Sana says I went with Rowan and found more verses than with Ironhawk. He shouldn't be nerfed. I guess we'll check it out. Alright, caught up in the chat there. Let's go make a team. Where should we go? I usually like to test it in, like, Explore because I know it's difficult. I'm not saying you should do Explore 12, but it's a nice place to test a new mythic just to see how powerful it is or whatever. Let's make a team. This is probably not an open... kind of like that team, though. Glorfindel's team there. With the Fomag, which I don't really need. We could do this one. Alright, let's go find them and level them up and stuff. Ghost King Grimhorn. Let's get them all ascended. Let's get them all traded. I'll put a chapter in here. If it will load. Alright, so I did the opening. Now we're going to do the team. So, new mythic team. Come on, laptop. Are you kidding me here? Come on, keyboard. Are you kidding me? Anyway. So we gotta throw him over there. So what are we gonna do? Are we gonna go true damage? Deal true damage to the first 2 enemies. Be nice if we had a bunch of yellow gems on the board. My first thought is doing some sort of undead team. I wonder what kind of... Let's look at dwarves, just to be different. Because that's probably where you're going to use them. Is there anything else? Brown and red. Blue to Doomskull. Stun the last two enemies. Oh, this thing makes yellow, doesn't it? Electrostorm, is that yellow and red? Tink might be alright with them. But otherwise, green gems to Doomskull. Can make some brown. Yeah, I don't think I would go with Dwarf. I think I would go Undead. If I was going to try to make like the best team with him to see if he's good or not. We could start with the Ghost Queen. We could do the King and the Queen. Alright, so we got a Undead here. And then we have 50% start for Undead. This will steal life and mana, so we could finish something off. That would be the start of my team, the King and the Queen. Alright, I got the chapter now. And I'm getting a text. Oh, and a phone call. Sweet. Okay. That's gonna be my start of the team, and then, you can always do the wand. Should we, though? Undead. So we're hitting the first two enemies. Does anything else do that? We should look for a color we're not using. Like, Draculus uses the same colors. Morthani. The Grey King. Could do the Kings. Kings and the Queen. I do want to maybe try him with Lord of Slaughter. But right now, I'm thinking maybe Morthani. We're going to do an Undead. I just want to see how powerful he is or isn't. Just throw the wand up there for now. We'll tweak it after. Throw this on the bottom. Create an Uber Doomskull when my turn begins. Guess I'll just do the thing where the wand, you cast the wand 50,000 times. Class. A Yellow Storm would be great, but I don't know. It's not going to be great for getting us going here. We got green. Let me try Archer. We'll tweak as we go. Right, we do have 3 greens. We have 3 red. We have 3 brown. What are we missing? We have blue, green, red, brown, purple. So we're missing yellow. Green, brown, minus yellow. That's probably good. I don't know. I just want to get a feel for it. Let's go see what it's doing here. Crow says, what is war? War is a mythic, a really old mythic. It's an apocalypse mythic, and it's not very good. Sana says, King Bloodhammer and Moira. Yeah, if you're going to go with the skull route, go the skull route. Just feel like you wouldn't cast a spell then. Well, maybe. I guess you're converting yellow to Doomskull. Wonder if he's good with Arc Proxy, but she does the same thing. Usually you don't want like 2 things converting the same color to skulls. We need something with the Yellow Storm. If you guys can think of something. Or is it crappy mythic? Yeah. Pro says should send YT notifications when he starts a stream would increase his viewers. I did. I think I did. I mean, I don't know. Is there another step I can do? I sent out a community tab post. I put up a reminder. I went to Discord. I told everybody yesterday. Like, I pretty much did everything I could do. I think. McMahon on Netflix? I'll have to check it out. New Mythic Friday. Look, it's Tyrion. Crow says, anyone know how gems in Puzzle Quest 3 work when you have 4 spells of the same color? Do we all get the same amount? What is the math there? I know, I was asking the same thing. So I was noticing, like, some of my spells getting mana when I wasn't even matching the color. Alright, we just gotta get up our wand. I just want to get a feel for this Mythic. I don't know if this is going to be the team exactly, but... Alright, everybody's up. So who would we do? I guess him first. Thing is, you lose your turn no matter what. There's no way to... See how much he does, though. So how many yellows on the... We got 11 yellow on the board. And you know what's going to happen? The enemy's going to hit us with so many Doom Skulls. We're probably going to give them so many, like, matches. I hate troops that backfire. That's like one of my pet peeves. This guy kind of is going to backfire, right? He's going to convert all yellow gems to Doom Skulls to boost the effect. So unless we have, like, alignment, it's going to backfire pretty hard. Because all these are going to turn to Doom Skulls, right? And then they're going to end up matching. And luckily, they're entangled, but if they weren't entangled, that would be... See what happens. It is pretty good at killing the first enemy. Let's go with Morthani now. Probably. I wish I had him right now. Now would be a great time. Ooh, what if we get him up? Hey, I mean, it wasn't too bad. I'm just nervous about it backfiring. Maybe you don't cast it unless you have alignment. Let's see that team again. Let's put on, Nisha, okay. We're kind of doing skulls. I hate when I'm doing 2 different types of damage. I'd rather go all in on something. It's like giving me pet peeve vibes, but it's also crushing that first enemy pretty hard. We can get a yellow storm going. I'm trying to think of, like, what does a yellow storm? Only thing I could think of is, like, finesse. Does the finesse do one even? We got... I guess it'd be Stormcaller that's doing it. Yellow Storm, Yellow Storm. I mean, there's, like, Egress. It's all, like, weird Strix that do Yellow Storms. I'll have to look it up, maybe. The more yellow that's up there, the harder he'll hit, and the more chance that we'll convert without losing our turn. Alright, we're good here. Gonna smash that first enemy. They're always gonna hit you at some point with all those skulls you're throwing up there. Oops, I missed. Let's go ahead and kill this thing. Alright, we're low on mana. Low on mana. Up. Dang. I do have a summon on this team, though. It's not a big deal. Not gonna lose or anything, but kinda sucks we lost a troop. We can do this. Get a summon in. So I don't know. If you want to mess around with this, here's team code. Uh-oh. Looks like YouTube's having a problem here. At least on my end. Luckily, it's not the PlayStation, it's the laptop. So I just lost all my chat. You could do web spinner, but it's like, why not? You could do like so many other things with web spinner than this. You could do like triple Eye of Argus. Just first thing that comes to mind. It's like you could always do whatever. You could do Wand and Stellarix with this thing. Like we don't want to like force in a new mythic just because we got it and we didn't. We just helicoptered out of bed. But we could try that. Like I was doing Archer, which has some sort of extra skull. I think. It's got 15% chance for skull damage to be lethal. And we're root trapping, which was helping. Kind of want to try him with the Lord of Slaughter. As long as he's not the same exact color. You'd really be smoking that first slot. It's like, how dead does it need to be, though? Look, they're the same color, too. That's annoying. They're the same exact colors. Alright, so instead of that, let's find a yellow storm. What could I type in? Light storm? Is that what it's called? I don't know if it's gonna bring up everything, but... Well, Zalma? Scatter damage. Sagittarian. Topasarth. MJK Jets. Looking for a yellow storm. Is our only... Scatter damage. Then create 10 yellow gems or remove all gems of a chosen color and a light storm. That might be cool. Trying to think outside the box. Well, not really outside the box, but... What would be better than that? Could do Topasarth. Might be funny. Green, yellow, brown. We got blue, green, red. We got purple with the... I might try Queltzama first. Let me throw it up here. We kind of want to do this first, right? We match 4 or more gems, though. We're going to conjure a Doomstorm. And Archer's doing a storm, too. So you gotta keep an eye on all your storms. If you're trying to get a yellow storm. Like, Root Trap's gonna... Or, create a leaf storm at start of battle, but we're in first slot, so Queltzama should take precedence. It's under it. And the Doomstorm won't happen until we match 4 or more gems. So hopefully enough yellows up there before we do that. Our banner might be okay. No, we can't minus yellow now. Okay, anyway, let's do a different banner. Got all green, for sure. This is a team, this is an all green team. All green. We got brown, brown, we got red, red, we got yellow, yellow. And we go yellow this time. Minus blue, minus brown. Minus purple. We got a minus something we're using. We could do brown, I guess. Let's try that. Let's see what happens here. I'm just trying things. It's the first day. It's the first morning. First thing I tried was an all undead team. Now I'm trying to put as much yellow on the board as I can. Let's see what happens. See what y'all said. Brian Walker. Classic says, in case I wasn't clear, it's a 6-part documentary of Vince McMahon beginning to current. Yeah, I figured. I didn't know it was 6-part, but... like I'm not watching my own stream? Yeah, Tink Steam Whistle, maybe? Ooh, Scylla, maybe. Marky says, Wand of Stars and the new Mythic, 3rd trait Doomskull in 4 matches is an interesting combo. Has lots of skull drops, but risky, I guess. Yeah, it could backfire. Alright, Sana, thanks for being here. Let's see what happens here. Man, we got the Skull Storm. How'd that happen? I guess we matched 4 on, like, at the start of the fight? Now we lost our Light Storm. But we can still throw up a bunch of yellow. So we'll try it. We lost it somehow. Maybe the enemy team has something. Alright, I want to get up Quilt Zama. I could do this. That'll add to the yellow. Of course I missed. Alright, here we go. Well, still not a lot of yellow. I don't know what's... I was trying. Keep doing this. Nice. Misses so much. Let's get rid of that. Can do heavy damage. I just was hoping to put a bunch of yellow and then cast Grimhorn, whatever his name is. Well, it's first day. You gotta try stuff. You guys have a team, let me know. I don't know about this one so far. It might just be the fight is wow. Come on, man. Don't lose. And if we do this, we're gonna get backfired so hard, I bet. Go ahead and take some brown. Of course they get skulls. Let's just do it. Alright. So we still win, but it was shaky. I just want to see if I can get this storm going. Let's try one more fight. There it is. Must have been something on the enemy team, or we matched 4 somehow at the start of the fight. So what do we got to get up? Probably the wand. Now we got some purple and yellow. I think you're better off with this at the start of the fight, though. See, now we did a 4 match. So, Quiltzama probably not the way to go. But hey, we got this. You just destroy the first slot, but you're overkilling it, and I'd rather hit multiple enemies. Like Tesla or something. And now would be a great time if we had them. All that yellow. Let's try this. Fortunately, he doesn't use yellow or purple. Could just keep doing it till he gets up, though. There we go. Look at that. Oh, man. It should have gave me that one. Here we go. A little bit better. We can get the storm going. I could do Stormcaller, I guess, but it'd be such a slow start. Maybe if we put on an Anu. Really going all in on this yellow storm. Conjure a light storm when my turn begins, so that would keep it going no matter what. Purification. Fairy Fire. I guess. Lightning Strike. I guess. It's worth a shot. Let me switch to an Anu. Feel like we're gonna be hungry for mana. Alright, now let's check it out. We got 2 yellow storms. We're really doubling down on it. You could do Skull Storm too. You could, but the dude's boosting off of turning yellow into Doom Skulls. He's not boosting off of like how many skulls are up there, right? We got the Skull Storm again, so every time we do a 4 match, it's gonna do that. There we go. Switched it. Let's do this again. Switched it back. We could wait. We could do this first. There we go. Ah, come on. They gotta be jerks. And then every time we do that, it switches it back. Do this. I want to get a nice alignment. There we go, that's better. Now we can do this. Of course, we didn't get it. Cool if he used yellow. If he used yellow and turned yellow. Now we gotta get him up. No, I picked the wrong color. There he is. Pretty cool. I might be able to do even something different in the last slot. She's only starting the new Mythic. Let's try that again. That was pretty neat. Okay. Gotta get up the wand. That's the first step. It's only got 3 mana. So, let's find something. We got a yellow storm. Let's try this. Nope. Alright, there we go. Got the wand. Let's do this. Alright, he's up. He doesn't have alignment. Let's do this again. There's Queltzama. If we don't have alignment, I'll do Queltzama first. And we'll just pick the highest color. Now we're taking some hits. Still don't have it. Try this. Still don't have it. Let's try this. There we go. Yellow to Doomskull. We don't have it. Could do this, since we already have the Skull Storm. do green. Ah, there goes our hero. Might just do it. Huh? I don't know. We got a boss chest. Ooh, we got a mimic. Let's go. This is an all-green team. So the first team was all undead. This team is all green. So both things are kind of teams that could be used for something. Like, I'm not just making random weird teams that are for nothing. The first team was for undead. The second team's for green. We got anything here? No. Let's do this. Missed it. Cool. Sweet. Thank you. Appreciate it. There we go. Didn't miss that time. Well, kinda. Look at all that yellow. Let's do brown. Maybe I should pick a color that he uses. Alright, here we go. Let's do this. We got 12 brown. She doesn't use, but I was trying to get that yellow. It died again. Got the Quilt Zama. 13 red, which he does use. But it's just it's removing, so it doesn't matter. So never mind. Removing. Let's get them up if we can. There we go. We have alignment. Alright, watch me get it. That'd be funny. Nope. Oh well. I don't know, a couple ideas. We'll keep messing with it this weekend. We gotta go to the Vault event. We can't spend all of our time on this above average mythic. Maybe tomorrow you guys bring me some teams and I'll try your teams. Or if I come up with something tonight, I'll let you know. It's hard to think of teams like on the spot. But I got you an all undead and I got you an all green for the new mythic. If you want to try them. We need some way to make sure our hero lives more. And then maybe we could do something else in this last slot. That's what I'm thinking. So all she's doing is 50% starting the new mythic. Which helps him get up a little bit faster. That way he's ready whenever you get all that yellow up there. It's not doing nothing, but there might be something better for this last slot. Like maybe you could do an all Strix team. And then just throw him in the mix. And then just have a bunch of yellow up there. And then whenever you have alignment, you cast them. And otherwise, you kind of treat it like a Strix team. Maybe some other Strix down here. Instead of the Ghost Queen. Instead of treating it like an undead, we could treat it like a Strix. Dwarf team with half start and 1 or 2 of the other Doomskull troops could be. Just like he's boosting off of turning yellow to Doomskull. I don't know why I'm stuck on that. Maybe I need to get off of that. If you're using them just for that Doomstorm, and then occasionally turning yellow to Doomskull. It's like, why would you not use Arc Proxy Avengera, though, if you're going to go for that? Unless it's a dwarf restriction, I guess, which it barely ever is. Once again, we're being the super tight shorts best runner for making an all-dwarf team. But if I was going to do like a yellow skull team, I would go with Arc Proxy, not this guy. Who's a way better top 10, top 20 mythic. Those are my 2 ideas. Let's move on to the Vault event. You guys, we'll keep messing with it this weekend. At least I'll try to. Sometimes I don't get super excited about certain mythics, and then I forget to keep going with it, but... Tyrion says was more useful pre-glory medals. Also, still the only way to get Horde Mimic Mythic Troop. Are Mimics good to fight? Yeah, just to try to forward that super rare Horde Mimic Mythic if you don't have it. But it really doesn't do anything for you once you get it. You just... It's like something, check it off the list. You no longer have to get the Horde Mimic Mythic. It doesn't... Anybody that has the Horde Mimic Mythic are pretty much no different than a person that doesn't have it. Like, if you have Stellarix, you're way different than a person that doesn't have Stellarix. I'd rather have Stellarix than, like, the Horde Mimic Mythic, right? There's two people that have the Horde Mimic Mythic, there's no difference. No, that person isn't better than the other person just for having that troop. But if one person has Stellarix and the other person doesn't, then the person with Stellarix is way better than the other person without Stellarix. So you have an amazing troop that's going to do something for you. The Horde Mimic Mythic is just a super rare doodad that you found because you kept humping the corner. You know? You're never going to use it. It gives you nothing. It's doing nothing for you. It's a nothing burger after the excitement of getting it. Like, it is a very, like, ooh, when you get it, if you're going for it and it takes super long and then finally it pops up, it's like a very exciting thing. But for that 1 second. And then after that, it's like, you're never going to use it again. You're never even going to look at it again. You might show somebody like, look, I got it. But that's about it. It's going to do nothing for your account other than that 1 second of excitement when you get it. And you're like, yeah! Which is cool. A little burst of excitement. But getting something like Stellarix will help you for a long time and be upgrade to your account and stuff like that. So I'd rather see a person grinding the Vault event properly right now, getting Dragonite, doing their dungeon every day, you know, trying for perfects, than a person like grinding Explore 12 trying for the Horde Mimic Mythic, because in the end it's going to be a waste of time. It's not going to give you anything. But if you grind the Vault properly and you get a bunch of Dragonite and you end up getting Stellarix, that's going to help your account and be a positive. No one is better than you regardless of what Gems of War troop they have. Have you seen your team suggestion, Gidralis? I think I read it, right? Wand, New Mythic, Wild King, Ooh, maybe, bro. Maybe. Yeah, because you're going to throw up that yellow with the Wild King and Skulls. Then you turn them. Okay, I see you. That's a good idea. Alright, let's try it real quick. Let's try it. I like that. I like that. The only thing I don't like is if you got it from some other channel, but it is what it is. I'm not saying you did, but that's a good idea. It's one of those, like, why? Why? You know, it's like one of those whys, though. Like, you could do Arc Proxy of Yavendra, right? Instead. I was trying to make a team that was, like, gonna be useful for something, like, okay, it's all undead, or it's all green. Unless this is all a certain color, maybe it is. Oh, maybe all green. There you go. Okay. See, I start talking like an idiot. At least it's all green. Leprechaun. Alright, this is the only one I'm gonna try. We gotta move on to the Vault event. Wand, New Mythic, Wild King. When do you want to do the Wild King first? Throw that yellow up there and then cast him? Maybe... Or I'll try it this way, but... What's the banner in the class? So Wild King is going to enrage all allies, give them attack, then create a mix of skulls and yellow gems. It's going to summon a Bone Storm at the start of battle, which is all helpful. Maybe I'll go back to Archer. Sort of green banner. Got 3 blues. Probably good. Let's see. That is a good idea. Hey, I got Cindy. Alright, do we got any extra turns? I don't think so. Leprechaun. Here's one. Here's one. Here's another. Alright, do we have it? Yes. Here we... Oh! This. Skulls everywhere. Oh. I missed. Huh. Is we entangled there? Come on, baby. Start. Keep hitting them with skull. Screw it. There he is again. They're all dead. Got our verse. Let's run it one more time. Food or ingot? I'm a food man right now. I have enough ingots to build the Great Wall of China. Probably have enough food to feed China, but I feel like I'd run out of pet food before ingots at... Because there's the... I don't know. There's only so many mythic weapons, and I think I have most of them. I got orbs, too. Like, there's no orbs for pet food, is there? Alright, which one will we do first? We got alignment already here. Or would we do this first? Could we do this first? Enrage, put up some more yellow. And now we don't have alignment, but let's take this. Get them both. Do this again. And they keep ruining it. Just do it. And he's cool. It's like, why not use Arc Proxy Avenger, though? Type stuff. That's how I've been feeling, but maybe if you don't have her. So here's Gidralis' team. Which I don't know if he used this class or banner, but there's 3 teams for the new Mythic. Alright, let's talk about the Vault event. Free booty. Let me change my chapter. We did 3 new Mythic teams. Alright, we got Vault event. I can't type. At the 105-ish. If people are watching after, they can skip around a little bit. Get a little bit better. What do you think of the new Mythic, Tyrion? I definitely like to hear what you think about it. Like, we're not calling it S tier, right? We can eliminate S tier. It's not an F tier either, so we can eliminate that too. Alright? Is it A tier? Is it B tier? Is it D tier? It's probably not D tier, so we can take out the D. So you take out the S, the D, and the F, so we're somewhere in the A, B, C range, right? Is it a C plus? It's probably not a C or a C minus, so we can take those out. So it's somewhere, it's probably not an A plus, right? So we're somewhere in the A down to the C plus, in there somewhere. And it always feels like you're riding the fence if you say any of those. My first impression was a B minus C plus, but maybe I usually feel better and better about it as I use it. So maybe I'm up to like a B- right now. But it'd be cool. Like, what do you guys think? Everybody in the chat, let me know what you think about it. What tier, just as your first impression? You don't have to, you can change it later. You know, if you're a scientist, sometimes you have one theory and then you test it and test it and test it and you change it. Nobody has to be right on their first guess or first opinion. What do you guys think? What kind of tier is it? Like, if you do the tier thing, S down to F, you can do the plus, the minus, whatever. But treasure vault, gnomes everywhere. Increased chances of treasure gnomes and more vault keys this weekend. Remember, I'm like a pessimistic type of dude, negative type of dude usually, so I start low on things and then I get... It's just like a defense mechanism maybe, so I don't get as disappointed. Plus, it doesn't hurt anybody to wait a day or two. If there's a horrible mythic and you're out there saying it's awesome and people go waste all their keys on it, they can't take that back. So it's like my defense mechanism to not immediately call something amazing. I don't want anybody out there like blowing all their keys on a subpar mythic and then later on I'm like, oh, sorry, I thought it was good. I'd rather be the other way around where I'm like, you know, slowly getting higher and higher on it than slowly getting lower and lower. And I hope y'all appreciate that. I'm thinking about your resources. It doesn't matter to me. I'm getting every single new mythic no matter what. Even if it's horrible, I'm getting it. That's just how you do, like, in-game, what you do with your keys at in-game. No matter what the new mythic is, you get it. Whether it's horrible, whether it's S tier or the worst mythic in the game. If you're in the in-game and you have nothing else to do with your keys, you're getting the new mythic no matter what. So if you're watching somebody on YouTube, they're getting the new mythic no matter what, most likely. Or else, why are they giving advice to people if they're not like an in-game player that knows a lot about the game? So I feel, and my strategy is to start low and get higher and higher on it, usually. Than to, like, start high, which would give me more views and stuff. If I said it's the best thing ever, and more people would come because they probably already got it anyway, so they want to hear that it's good. But I don't want to, I'm thinking about everybody else's resources. And I don't want to waste any of your resources. So I usually start low on the new mythic and I work my way up. And eventually I settle on whatever. So I just don't think it's like S tier, for sure. I don't think anybody out there is saying that. Hell yeah, Gidralis, I love that then. But yeah, the treasure vault, it's not a... I say this every time, but I feel like reinforcement... you know, repetition, reinforcement. So a lot of y'all already know what the vault event is anyway, but it's not your traditional like event. We have an extra bonus vault event, by the way, not next weekend, but the weekend after. I think we have a bonus vault event. There's a calendar, so we're getting a lot of vault events in a row here. So if you're low on gems or gold or souls or dragonite or anything like that, now's the time, dude. Put some extra effort in the next month or so, and you should get whatever you're looking for. This is the way to do it. This is the way to get gold. This is the way to get soul. This is the way to get every resource in the game. Even if there's not a direct path to it, there's an indirect path to it by getting tons of gems or something. You can get anything in the game through the vault event. So now's the time to be playing. It's not the time to take a break. It's not the time to be burnt out. Now's the time to play a lot of Gems of War, because... You know, if you don't have Stellarix, now's the time. If you're trying to go to Elite Mythics or get the achievement for, you know, doing meddling troops and stuff, like, now's the time, you know? Like, get those gems, that way you can buy the offers for the tokens and the medals and stuff. Like, gems is the thing that can get you anything in the game, pretty much. Glory can be changed into other resources. You know, you get Dragonite from Vault Event. Like, anything you can mention, you can get from the Vault Event, if you play it properly and you go hard. So no matter what it is that you're looking for, you can get it right now, and there's 3 Vault Events in, like, the next month or so. Which is crazy. A lot. So now's the time to be playing. But Vault Event, not your traditional event. There's no shop. There's no leaderboard. You can barely even tell it's going on, unless you look right here where it says it's going on. The only way you can really tell it's going on is if you go to games and there's not a pet active. And it'll say you have pity keys. So every time you see 5 gnomes, you're going to get a key sent to your mail. Next time it's going to be 10 gnomes. So after you see 10 gnomes, you get a key sent to your mail. After you see 15 gnomes, you'll get a key sent to your mail. The community calls that pity keys. They're just in case you don't get vault keys from gnomes, because it's a random chance, then they're sending you keys to the mail for seeing a certain amount of gnomes. So gnomes appear more often in Explore and PvP right now. If you're trying to get keys and Dragonite and orbs and gems and glory and gold and souls, you would do Explore 1, not PvP. If you want the pets, you think they're cute, you're playing Pokemon, you're doing the collect them all thing, the gotcha game thing, then you might do PvP to pop pets, but I don't recommend it. That's like a super end-game type of thing to do for people that already have everything else in the game. They have a giant stack of gems. They have Stellarix. The only thing left in the game for them to get is a certain pet because they have everything else in the game. And that's not for mid-game players. That's not for early end-game players. That's not for beginners. That's for very, very end-game players, like a guild leader would say, hey, let's all talk to each other about pet rescues. Because they probably need a certain pet. Because they have everything else in the game. You do not have everything else in the game, most likely. So you should be doing Explore 1. Let's see, what's the other thing you want to check is, like, what has boosts right now, so you can, it tells you which kingdom to go to. So we got Blackhawk has 10% to skills, and Rogue has 10% to their skills. And this is going to matter if you're using Ironhawk. Because Ironhawk does a very specific amount of damage, and we don't want enemies to have extra 10% to their skills, or else you won't one-shot, and it'll be slow. So we got to see, are there rogues in Cinemirage? There probably is, huh? We're trying to figure out where we're going to farm. Let's go to Cinemirage. You don't just willy-nilly pick kingdoms. You want to go to a very specific kingdom, so you're clearing all the enemies. You know, you're going to do 20 damage or 25 damage, and you want to make sure all the enemies have less than that. Let's see how many rogues are in Cinemirage. We got one. We got Broker of Greed. He is and he's also an epic, so he's probably going to survive. Alright, let's check Wild Plains. It's the other one I know that works. No rogues in Wild Plains, okay? So let's try Wild Plains as our farming location. And the way you want to do this is either Rowan or Ironhawk. That's just a fact. That's just the best practice. You know, you can do whatever you want. You know, straddle the toilet backwards, hump a wall, do whatever you want, remember. But if you want the most vault keys, and the most gaps, and the most verses, then you would do either Rowan or Ironhawk. You do Ironhawk if you have it. If you don't have Ironhawk, you do Rowan. So here's the Rowan team for people that don't have Ironhawk. If you have one Ironhawk, you would still do Rowan. If you have two Ironhawks, that's when you start using Ironhawk. So there's your team if you don't have two or more Ironhawks. And you whatever class. You're going to level a class, you're going to get all your class weapons, you can jump around to different kingdoms, and the reason you can do that is because Rowan hits harder than Ironhawk. It's slower, but it hits harder. So it doesn't really matter which kingdom you go to. Once you get the Ironhawks, you really got to start thinking about which kingdom you're in, because then you might think Ironhawk's slower than Rowan if you're in the wrong kingdom. So that's for people that don't have at least two Ironhawks. Here's the Ironhawk team. So this one is verse hunting. That's why you get 3 Ironhawks. You know, you start doing the Ironhawk thing when you have 2 Ironhawks. And then you complete your set by getting 3, because 3 is really good for farming verses. You cast one spell, you cast Dust Devil, and they all die. Now, let me show that real quick. Let's make sure it works. Yeah, I think he has a video out right now on it, and he wasn't super excited about it. I watched it briefly. You see how they all die? That was one spell. I was reading chat. It can't get faster than this. It's impossible. There's no way, unless the game casts the spell for you. It's impossible. Phoenicia's not faster, Tesla's not faster, Stellarix isn't faster, Moon Mage isn't faster, Rowan isn't faster, Red Macacal isn't faster. This is the fastest thing you can do. Because the goal is to see the next set of enemies. It's not to make the fights harder, it's not to go to a random different kingdom, it's not to be safe and whatever. Like, this is just the fastest. There's nothing faster. This would be to hunt verses, and verses is how you're going to get Gnome-a-Paloozas. And Gnome-a-Paloozas is how you're going to get 4 gnomes every single fight for 15 minutes. And that's how you're going to get your vault keys. So this is your team for verse hunting. You have to do it in Wild Plains. You can't be over in Sword's Edge or whatever kingdom. If you're not in Wild Plains and you're having trouble, try switching to Wild Plains. Alright, the team for doing the gaps, or if you only have 2 Ironhawks, would be Sister Superior on the bottom for PlayStation. It's Sister Superior for everybody, but you might put it in a different slot if you're on a different platform. It doesn't matter what platform you're on for where you would put your Sister Superior. Confirm button on PlayStation is X, right? On, like, the computer, like on PC or mobile, you're just, like, using your mouse or your finger. Like, it doesn't matter as much. But when you're on PlayStation, the confirm button is X. So we want to put Sister Superior in the X slot, which is the bottom slot. She can still catch green if you have trouble. Dust Devil can still catch yellow and brown if something survives. So it's still fine. Alright, so this would be your team for doing gaps. Like, once you go into the Soul Forge and you craft the Gnome-a-Palooza and the 15-minute timer starts, you would switch to this team. Greed is not better. Greed is slower. You'll get less vault keys, and you'll only gain like a tiny bit of gold a battle, which in the end will be less because you'll get less vault keys. You'll open less vault keys. Vault keys can give you hundreds of thousands of gold, so that little bit of extra gold from greed every fight does not mean that you're getting more gold. You're slowing yourself down by doing greed. I used to do greed, though, so I get it, but it's just a fact that Sister Superior is the best. So you can preload your inputs here on a controller, at least. I hold in the buttons. I let go. Boom, they're all dead. So it's just one extra button press. Because we're doing, like, in the gaps, the gnomes have a little bit more HP. So you have to do 2 casts. So we're casting this, right? It starts empowered, so it's ready to go at the start of the fight. We're casting it. By casting it, we're setting these off. Deal 5 damage to all enemies when an ally casts a spell. So Sister Superior is casting a spell at the start of the fight. It's empowered. It gets an extra turn. So that does 10 damage to all the enemies. That weakens them by 10. And then we cast Dust Devil, who does 5 damage to all enemies, right? So that's 15 damage to all enemies. And it also sets these off again for another 10 damage. So that's 25 damage total. So that'll take care of any gnome in a Gnome-a-Palooza. That's the reason you do 2 Ironhawks for a gap and you do 3 Ironhawks for verse hunting. When you're verse hunting, the enemies have 20 HP or less. When you're doing gaps, they have 25 or less. So some of them will have more than 20. So you want to do 2 Ironhawks. That way you can cast the Sister Superior to set off the 2 Ironhawks twice, pretty much. Instead of, and then the Dust Devil with its 5 damage. So this is 25 damage total. The triple Ironhawk is only 20 damage total. And there, you know, some gnomes will survive still in a gap, like a Dragon Knight gnome, but that's a thing that you're happy for. Like, who cares? Like, you got a Dragon Knight, you're not going to be like, dang it, I got a Dragon Knight gnome. Crap. Heavens to Betsy, I got a Dragonite gnome. No, you're going to be like, yes, I got a Dragonite gnome. Oh no, I have to do a tiny bit of extra work because I got a Dragonite gnome. Who cares? It's fine. It will survive, but it's fine. Like, you're happy that you got a Dragonite gnome. We're not going to rebuild our entire team just because of one Dragonite gnome here and there. That's the rarest gnome in the game that pops up the least. We're not going to, like, redo our whole team because you know, that Dragonite Gnome every once in a while. We're going to be happy for the Dragonite Gnome. We're going to be happy it survives, and we're just going to kill it, and we're going to move on with our lives. We're not going to change our whole team so 9 out of 10 fights are slower. And then that one fight, we can kill them in one shot. That's not smart. That's throwing the baby out with the bathwater just because one Dragonite Gnome survives every once in a while. You're making every single other fight slower. And the only fight you're making faster is the Dragonite Gnome fight, which is the rarest gnome that pots up the least. So that's not smart. So this is the team for Gnomapaloozas. I'll run it one more time. You gotta cast Sister Superior, then cast Dust Devil. And it looks like you can click through without crashing now, which was the reason they gave us the bonus Vault Event. The bonus Vault Event, not next weekend, but the weekend after, is because of all the crashing during the last Vault Event. Which was happening when you were, like, jamming on the confirm button after the victory screen. Or during the victory screen. So that's pretty much it. I mean, here's what you would do. Like, a gameplay loop of the Vault Event would be, for me anyway, I would probably run a gap right now, because I have 31 out of 100. You see over here, right here, the shards? So you do not want to get a boss chest during a gap. It's not the end of the world. It's kind of like a Dragonite Gnome showing up. It's like, oh well, no big deal. But you will make it faster by running a gap to where you're not going to get a boss chest during the gap. It's just like min-maxing. So what I like to do is I'll hunt for verses until I get a boss chest, and then I'll run a gap right after that. That way there's no way I'm getting a boss chest during my gap. And it also forces me to hunt for verses. Now, there's some people out there who love to stack a quadrillion verses, so they might be playing slightly different. I don't understand it. I don't get it, except for they don't have 15 minutes straight. They're busy. People knocking on their door. Salesmen trying to sell them cable. Kids doing flaming cartwheels just to the right of them. Who knows? Like, they can't play for 15 minutes straight, so they have to sit there and farm verses all weekend. That's the only thing I can think of as to why you would stack up a billion verses. There's no other reason. Like, the logical, regular way to do a Vault Event is probably the way I'm doing it. But there are some situations where people can't do gaps, so they stack up verses. And then maybe the next Vault Event, they can do gaps, so they just run gaps the entire time. But that's not, like, the norm. That's not the way most people do it. So right now, I would run a gap, because my shards are on 31 out of 100. I'm only going to get 50, maybe 60 shards during this gap. So there's no way I'm getting to 100 out of 100. So I'm not going to get a boss chest. But let's go run one. And here's the pity keys. So I got 2 out of 5. I've seen 2 gnomes. So it's a 2 out of 5. Once I get 5 gnomes seen, I'll get a vault key sent to my mail. It's a pity key. It's just to help people who have horrible luck and none of their gnomes are dropping vault keys. But you go to the Soul Forge. And I went the wrong way. I should have went down. But I got 4 gaps. I didn't really play the last Vault Event because it was crashing so much. So, I don't know. Let's see what y'all are saying here before I get going. Come on, laptop, you stupid piece of poop. Stupid piece of poop. Stupid piece of poop. This thing is horrible. I'm about to spike it out the window. Alright, Faceless One is here. Better late than never. Crow says I save all the mist stones until after Gnome Event, then I run Explorer. Yeah, you can't really... Well, I guess you could, but you kind of have to stay in the same kingdom, so there's no way to really save myth stones, because you're just going to keep getting them no matter what. And it's really easy to get 100. And it makes you do a boss chest if you get to 100 out of 100, so... Instead, you don't want to really skip around. I mean, if you're doing Rowan, you can, I guess. It could be a strategy if you're doing Rowan. Maybe. Beg, how is the new Mythic? It's okay. You know me, I always start low on it, then I I don't want to like cost anybody like a bunch of keys or anything. It's definitely not S tier, and it's definitely not F tier. That's what I've decided. It's okay. I keep saying like, why would you use this instead of Arc Proxy Avendra is kind of the... And then it's like, you could use it on a dwarf team, but when is it going to be a dwarf restriction? Just every once in a while. So he's like a tool for your tool belt, and he's not bad. He doesn't have any good traits, really. His spell's cool. You know, it could backfire, though. You know me, and I don't really like troops that backfire too bad, but it's kind of cool. It's neat. I gotta spend more time with it to form my real opinion. If I was like gonna tell mid-game, I would say wait and see, but nobody likes to hear that, so. And that's what I say most new mythics, is wait and see. We've had some really good ones lately that you needed 3 of, so I doubt there's probably less keys out there than ever. So if you're blowing the rest of your keys on this one, instead of saving up for the next Takshaka, or the next Pharaoh Khafru, or the next Ironhawk or something, like, that's not what I would advise. Because who knows, like, the next thing could be better than Takshaka or Pharaoh Khafru, and then you're going to need 3 of them. And you got to throw more and more, like, just to get 1, how many keys did it take you? Okay, now you need 2, so is it going to be twice as many keys? And now you need 3? Is it going to be 3 times as many keys as it took you to get this guy? You got to think about that. Maybe you need 3 of something coming soon. You think ahead in this game. You don't try to beat this game in a day or a week or a month. You got to think ahead for the long term. Like, if this guy isn't amazing to where I need 3 of them, then I need to save keys in case an amazing mythic that I need 3 of comes through, like Takshaka, Pharaoh Khafru, Ironhawk. Like, there's 3 examples that are easy right off the top of my head. It's not like I have to, like, dig in my brain for an example of something that you needed 3 of. Tons and tons and tons of keys. It's happened recently more than ever. So, like, now's the time to, like, skip some mythics if you're not getting every single new mythic. If you're not an in-game player on YouTube streaming, or you're not Tyrion Shark or whoever, an in-game player that you have nothing else to do with your keys than to get new mythics. And I'm just trying to help you. That way you can get Takshaka and 3 of them, and you can get Pharaoh Khafru and 3 of them, and you can get Ironhawk and 3 of them. I'm not just... What would be the reason for me to say, like, hey, hold on a day or 2? That doesn't hurt anybody at all. You can get it on Sunday, the same way you can get it today. So even if it turns out that somebody finds an amazing team for this guy, and you have to get at least 1 copy of it, you can still get it tomorrow. You can still get it the next day. Nothing's going to change. You're doing Vault Event today anyway. It's not like I got to hurry up and get this new mythic so I can do this thing. You're doing Vault Event anyway. You're doing Ironhawk or Rowan. This guy has nothing to do this whole entire weekend. He has nothing to do this whole entire weekend. What's the harm of waiting till Monday morning to get this new mythic? It's there for an entire week. And laptop is poop. What a stupid piece of junk. Alright, I'll try to catch up in chat as soon as this laptop feels like working. I see Crow, I see Faceless One, Beg for Mercy, Frank. It's a piece of poop. It wants to do nothing. You don't think my laptop can run Mordheim? You're probably right. Yeah, I don't like the mixed damage either, yeah. You switch kingdoms? Okay. So yeah, if you're doing a Rowan thing where you're switching kingdoms to avoid the boss chests, maybe. Alright, let's run this thing. If you're doing a gap, you want to keep an eye on the timer. There is a strategy, especially with Dragonite Gnomes. I did make a video about it. Did come out in the last month or 2 about how to get Dragonite and like the ultimate Dragonite farming guide. So you should check that out after the stream if you haven't seen it yet. But at the end of a gap, so gaps are nerfed. Not like in a bad way, but like in a necessary way, where gnomes give you about like 10% of their normal drop. So if you were going to get 100 souls, you'll get 10 souls. If you were going to get 200 diamonds, you're going to get 20 diamonds. If you were going to get 50 Dragonite, you're going to get 5 Dragonite. Because you're just seeing them every single fight. You're killing them in 1 second with Ironhawk or Rowan. Like, it was too good. It was too much loot. It was too good. So they put a limiter on it. So when you run a Gnomapalooza, each individual gnome is only going to drop like 10% of its actual loot drop. So, in saying that, you can, at the end of your Gnomapalooza, so you put up a timer. You know exactly when it ends. If there's like 1 minute left of your Gnome-a-Palooza, and you see a Dragonite gnome, you could let the timer run out, the entire minute run out, wait till it does the other music, like the Gnome-a-Palooza music goes away, the old music comes back. That'll tell you that, plus your timer is going off, and you know that it's over. So this fight you're in is the last fight of your Gnome-a-Palooza. Then you can wait till the timer's over, the music ends, and then you kill the Dragonite gnome, and you'll get the entire full drop. So if you're still looking for Dragonite, that's probably the people that are going to be doing that this weekend. So you keep your eyes peeled for Dragonite gnomes, especially in that last minute, that last 2 minutes, whatever it is for you. You're sacrificing vault keys, though, for however many minutes you're waiting. So the more you need vault keys and the less you need Dragonite, the less time you would wait. The more you need Dragonite, the more time you would wait. Whatever. So let's wait till 1:31:30, and then we know that it is going to be 1:46:30 is when our Gnome-a-Palooza will end. So on the elapsed time up in the left-hand corner, I'm going to wait till the 30, and then I'll know it'll be 1:46:30. You get the heck out of here, you go here. I probably did not put my correct team on. Or yeah, I did. Alright, we're good to go. Now the goal, especially during a gap, is to clear the enemies out as quickly as possible. What if a person went and did a pet rescue during a gap? You think there's people out there doing that? It'd be like putting your shirt on like Cornholio and straddling the toilet backwards. I'm imagining people stopping and doing a pet rescue like while they're farming verses, but what if there's people out there? They do pop up during a gap, right? Like the notification? What if people are stopping gaps? Like they're wasting 5 minutes of a gap to go do a pet rescue. That'd be hilarious. I've never even thought. I thought whenever I say don't do pet rescues during a vault event, I mean like when you're farming verses. If you're doing a gap, it's a big time no-no. That's like there's no reason. I don't care what your reason is. You could give me the best reason in the world, and I would say nope. You just ran that gap. You got to do the gap. You got 15 minutes. The timer's running no matter what. You're not going to go do a pet rescue for 5 whole minutes or 3 whole minutes of your gap. That'd be ridiculous. A gap is a Gnome-a-Palooza? So, that's just the shorthand version of it. And a Gnome-a-Palooza, it just means all gnomes. Like right now, you see I'm getting all gnomes. I'm in Wild Plains. I'm in Explore 1. So normally we would see Wild Plains troops. We'd see Banejaw. We'd see whatever else. But we're seeing only gnomes. And that's because I ran a Gnome-a-Palooza. I went to the Soul Forge. I crafted it. The way you do that is you got to get 4 different verses from Gnome-a-Palooza gnomes. You got Cindy, you got Hoagie, you got Baz, you got Freddy. Those are the 4 gnomes. So it's green, red, brown, and blue. It's like Captain Planet. Think of Captain Planet. Fire, wind, heart, water, earth, whatever it is. You got to get all the different things to combine them into Captain Planet. Well, you got to get all the different color verses. You got to get Freddy, Cindy, Baz. You got to get all the gnomes to make Captain Planet, which is the Gnome-a-Palooza. The way you do that, you do Explore 1. You do your triple Ironhawk team, or you do your Rowan. Explore 1. And they will pop up eventually. They're rare. They're not just going to hand them out like candy, because then everybody would be doing gaps all weekend. But you just keep killing enemies, you keep looking for gnomes, and eventually you'll see, like, Cindy, you'll get the red one. Keep going, you keep going. You see just 4 normal enemies, you do the next fight. You see 4 normal enemies, you do the next fight. You see a treasure gnome, there he is, there's a gnome. Do the next fight, 4 normal enemies, 4 normal enemies. Eventually you'll see Freddy. Freddy comes in. Now you got a green. Now you got the green verse. So you got the red and the green. Now you just need the blue and the brown. And once you get the blue and the brown, you can go to the Soul Forge and make a Gnomapalooza, a gap. And then you'll see all gnomes for 15 minutes. Which is the way you get the vault keys. It's the main way you get vault keys during a vault event, is by running Gnomapaloozas. So if you don't have them, if you don't have the 4 colored verses, go to Explorer 1 and just run your Rowan team. Just stay in the same spot. I mean, you can jump around if you want, but the fastest way is to kind of stay in the same spot, in the same kingdom. Because you find a kingdom that's working for you. Like, there's no summons in here, there's no barrier in here, there's no, like, whatever. Something that can be annoying that makes the fights harder. If you go to, like, a weird kingdom, and something's doing barrier at the start of battle, or summoning like Drake Rider. If Drake Rider's there, and he's gonna summon every time you kill him, you're just adding onto the fights by being in that kingdom. You're making it more annoying and slower by fighting Drake Rider so much. He's gonna summon every single time you kill him, so it's not a good spot to be. Rowan has more, like, options as to what kingdoms to do, but you can't do, like, every single kingdom, because some of them are annoying, and they make it slow. But I just find a kingdom that's working for you, maybe something like a trait stone that you have the least of, because you also get trait stones for doing Explore. Pick a class that you don't have leveled, or that you need a class weapon for. And just, like, settle into that kingdom for... Maybe you have 0 trait stones. Go to your inventory. Go to your trait stones. Find an arcane trait stone that you have the least of. Maybe you have 0 of the green one or something. Click on it. It'll bring up a kingdom. It'll bring up, like, Forest of Thorns. And then you can click on Forest of Thorns. It'll take you there. Then you go to Explore 1. Forest of Thorns. Just as an example, I'm not saying people should do this. Just the person that has the green trait stone is their least. And then you just stay there. Like, stay there. It's faster than jumping around and then, oh, oops, there's Drake Rider. Now I'm getting summons. Oops, there's a barrier. Now I'm dealing with barrier every single fight. Oops, these enemies are super strong for some reason. Now they're not dying in one hit. Like, who knows? Just kind of stay there and just kill enemies. Like, the Vault event is not that exciting. It's exciting for, like, the results. We get a ton of vault keys, you get a ton of loot, you get to open those vault keys after it's over. But the actual, like, act of doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're just killing, like, 4 weak enemies over and over and over and over and over. And you're doing it right if it's boring. If you're jumping around, doing backflips, lighting yourself on fire, changing classes, going to different kingdoms all the time, doing pet rescues, like, you got ADD, you need some Ritalin. And it's not how you're supposed to do it, at least. It should be pretty boring and pretty samey. The same kingdom, the same team, just killing 4 weak enemies over and over and over and over and over. Every once in a while, you'll run a gap. And that's pretty much, and it's just gnomes instead of the regular enemies. Still pretty much the same. Look at that double loading bar. Yeah. That doesn't slow me down at all. Yeah, once you get a weapon, yeah, you would switch. Class weapons is, like my new account was doing that. And my advice for that would be, you know, get Essence of Evil. So you want to do Plague Lord. Get your Reflection of Good, do Archmagus. Get your Skeleton Key, do Thief. Get your Shield of Erskaya, Sentinel. What else? You got Fiend Fire, which is Diabolist, right? You got Dancing Daggers, that's Dervish. You got the Sin's Harvest, which is Doomsayer. That's most of them. I might have missed one. It's most of them. Most of the good ones, at least. There's a couple, like, quirky ones that some people use, but you would get those next. You wouldn't get them first. Definitely Essence of Evil should be first, right? Because that's still useful. Terror the last enemy, make them run away, tie them all the way up. Sometimes it's better than the wand. Reflection of Good is pretty good. Give all positive stat effects to yourself. Blow up the board. Skeleton Key if you're a gold farmer. You got Plunder and Peril. That's another decent one I just thought of. Corsair. There's like 7 to 10 decent class weapons. And then you might as well get them all. Like, once you get all the good ones, you might as well jump around and get them all. It'll be another weapon from a kingdom. It'll help with your kingdom power and stuff. You might as well get all of them. They're free. All it takes is effort and setting your class and winning the 250 fights. Which doesn't take long. You'll get... If you're doing the Vault event properly, and you're going after class weapons, I don't see why you can't get, like, at least 5 of them. At least 5 of the best class weapons. At least. Like, that's bare minimum. So we're doing a fight every, like, 6 seconds here. You're doing... You know? Like, 10 fights a minute at least. So it shouldn't take very long to get the class weapons sent to your mail. I bet you could get every single good class weapon by the end of the Vault event. Rowan does take a little bit longer. It's not as fast as Ironhawk, but still second best. Gotta get them all. So that's like a beginner, like a person that doesn't have 2 Ironhawks would be doing that. I feel like the Vault event, I used to, even when I had Ironhawk and I still had classes to level, sometimes I would make myself use Rowan. But you're missing out on so many Vault keys and gems if you do that. It's like, what's more important to you at that point? Is it more important for you to get Knight to 100? Or Nightweaver to 100? Or is it more important to you to get more Vault keys, more gems, more Dragonite? Like, you can level that class anytime you want, but you can't do the Vault event anytime you want. So I used to kind of do that, not a lot. Like, here, every once in a while, I'd be like, I think I'll level a class for a little bit. So I'd get out Rowan, and I would put on Nightweaver or Knight or something, some crappy class. I didn't have it 100 yet. But I've not done that in, like, a year. Because, mostly because of gaps and Ironhawks and stuff like that. It just made it so lucrative and so good that I can't force I feel like I'm missing out if I'm doing Rowan when I have Ironhawk. It's just not worth it to me anymore. I'll just set Nightweaver on everything else I do on when it's not the Vault event. Man, I keep having to refresh my chat on my laptop. My laptop's having trouble today. Luckily, the PlayStation isn't, though. So what'd I say, 146.30? So we're getting into the last 2-3 minutes. Maybe I'll show an example of what you would do, because a lot of people out there do still need Dragonite. So keep your eyes peeled on these gnomes right now, especially here in the last 2 minutes or so. We don't want to waste like 5 minutes or 4 minutes. Now's the time to be like peeping out those gnomes and seeing what you got over there. Dragonite gnomes are pretty easy to spot because they'll most likely survive. So you're going to be like, what the heck, dude? And you'll be like, oh, it's a Dragonite gnome. But even if you don't have a Dragonite gnome, you could, like a Glory gnome, are pretty good to have up there at the end of the Gnomapalooza. If you really want to min-max it. I would rather go for Vault keys, so I don't do that. So I just want to see more gnomes. Every single gnome has a chance to drop a Vault key. That's the thing they share in common. Like, every gnome can drop a Vault key. So you don't want to be, like, doing the waiting thing unless it's a Dragonite Gnome for real. But you could, like, if it's the very... You know it's the last fight. And you're no way you're going to get to another fight. And you have, like, 3 Glory Gnomes up there. You could wait 5 seconds. I got a crappy PS4. It was a whole situation. It was during the big P, the big C, you know? When there was a big-time shortage of those chips, right? So I had a PS4. It kept getting really hot. And it would shut down because it was getting too hot, right? So I couldn't stream. So I had to buy a new one. And it was doing okay. Like, I could stream sometimes. So I was looking for a PS5 for, like, months. But it was, like, the worst time to be looking for one. It was when there was that chip shortage and there was, like, no PS5s out there. That's when I had the money. That's when I was looking. And it just wasn't happening. There was nothing available. Every time I would check every day and there'd be 0 available. And that's when I had to have something or I couldn't stream. Like this, the PS4 that I was using was getting overheating and not allowing me to stream. So here's our last fight, most likely. So whatever's here will get the full drop. If we take an action, the music should end. Right? See that? This is our last fight. That's the music I'm telling you to listen for. See how the music changed? So now we'll get the full drop of all these gnomes here. We got 1 glory gnome. That kind of sucks. This is like a horrible last set of gnomes to be getting the full drop of. But, that glory gnome right there, let's say she was going to give me 200 glory. Well, before now it would have been 20. Because they're doing the limiter thing. But now I'm going to get the full drop because the music stopped. So as soon as I can... Okay, they're dead. Let's see what we get. Roxy! Of course I got Vault Key, so I can't show you, but that's what you're looking for. So the Glory Gnome gave me a Vault Key instead of Glory. The Mech Gnome gave me a Vault Key. And then if this was a normal fight, I would have got 2 rubies probably. And I would have got 2 ultra rare ingots. But I got the full drop instead. Because the music ended. But that's mostly only viable for Dragonite Gnome that you see in the last minute or 2. Wasn't a very good example because of the vault keys, but I'll take them. Alright, I forgot to look and see like how many vault keys I had before we started, so... I don't know how many I got there. I usually like to look at that after. Like after a gap, you get an average of 20 vault keys per Nomapalooza. That's across the board. So Rowan, maybe it's 15. Ironhawk, maybe it's 25. You know, sometimes you're going to have some bad luck and your Ironhawk will get 20. Sometimes you'll have good luck and your Rowan will get 20, right? So on average, per gap, you should get around 20 vault keys. We can go check that out. Like, we can get our pities. Here's the pity keys right here. Don't accidentally collect all, because you want to use these XP boosters while you're farming verses. That's what I do. Because farming verses can get frustrating. Farming verses can be annoying. Farming verses can just take a while. So might as well juice it up with an XP booster, I say. Or a gold booster or a soul booster. Any kind of booster you have. Save it for when you're farming verses. Because you might get frustrated. Maybe Cindy's being a little bee and she won't show up. So I collect these like one at a time. That way I can use my XP boosters when I want to instead of like collecting all. It's good practice to save your XP boosters for vault events if you can. I know they run out and you can't just save all of them, but any XP booster you got this week you should probably have saved for this. Because you're doing so many fights so fast. That's a good time to use an XP booster. Plus, it just makes farming versus a little bit not as annoying sometimes. It's like, at least I'm getting extra experience, even though I'm not seeing the verse I need. So, let's see. I didn't have a lot of vault keys. I don't... Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how many. I probably got like 20 with the pities. I think I had something like 15 vault keys before we started. The epics, that's pretty crazy. I don't know that I had a lot of epics, but I mean, now we know. We can, going forward, I have 54. Now, going forward, we could keep track. I still got 3 gaps, pretty good, because I'm going to replenish those. So the rest of the gameplay loop would be going back to Wild Plains, going back to Explore. See how we have 98? I did not hit 100, so that was close. That was close. I want to make sure to do it sooner next time. But you save this one. Copy it. That way it's faster to put back in when you need it. And then we want to go get another Ironhawk. If you don't have 3, it's fine. Just keep... It's almost easier if you don't have 3. You don't have to switch back and forth. But this is the verse farming team. Class doesn't matter. Class doesn't matter. Unless you're going for class weapons. Class weapons is something you can do either way. Like, you don't have to have your hero equipped. So if you still need class weapons somehow and you have 3 Ironhawks or 2 Ironhawks, you could go get them all pretty easily just by equipping the class. It's a weird thing that's probably not supposed to work like that, but it does. Don't go maze banner. Don't go maze banner it, y'all. Don't go dungeon tooling. Don't be a dungeon tool maze banner boy. Yeah? So we go say on the forum, hey, class, you're supposed to get class spirits, you're supposed to get the class weapon if you're not using the hero. That doesn't seem right. Ruin the fun for everybody on the forum, like the maze banner guy. What a ding dong. Dungeon tool guy. This dungeon tool, it's making it to where we can get perfects way too much. You devs should look into that. I think people are getting too many perfects and getting too much Dragonite, and I don't think that's right. And you should fix that. You should look into it. I'm smart, and I realized that something's not working right. So I wanted to let you know. The teacher's pet, and I wanted to let you know. Billy's cheating on his test. He's looking off of Rachel's. Billy's looking off of Rachel's test, and that's why he's getting an A+. You should look into it. I'm just letting you know. The maze banner should not, it's got +3, +2, minus. Oh, what is that? It's not supposed to be like that. Teacher, it's not. I'm gonna give you an apple. Here's an apple. So nobody go to the forum. Maybe it's supposed to work like this, but you can get class weapons. Like, I'm being the snitch right now, but the devs are not watching my channel. They're not. They never have. They never will, because I don't lick their butt. I talk crap about the devs. They don't want to hear it, so they're not watching my channel. I guarantee it. I don't need to lick butt for codes to give out like a gem key or whatever, a pet. So I don't lick butt for codes. So they don't watch my channel. So it doesn't matter what I say. I'm not really a snitch. But don't be running to the forums and telling stuff like the maze banner. That was ridiculous. Why did a person have to do that? It only takes one person to go to the forum to ruin it for thousands of people. But yeah, you can get class weapons via the Ironhawk team if somehow that's a situation somebody has, which I doubt it. But just equip your class up here. You're not even using your hero, but it still works. You still get class weapon credit. So I would hunt gaps now. But not for very long, because I almost have a boss chest. And I still have gaps. If I didn't have gaps, I would keep going until I get the next boss chest. But since I do have gaps, I'm just going to run a couple fights here. And then set it as close to 0 as I can. And then run another gap. And then I would really get into the gameplay loop. Crow says, what a hater. 2 times Burning March snitch. I know. The YouTuber dragons. Alright. Roxy says I'm 1980 Dragonite now, just 20 more. I'll have enough for the last Cosmic Dragon I need. Nice. You'll definitely get that. That's 20. Crow says I burned out my first PlayStation 4, then I got a PS4 Pro I hardly used, then bought PS5. Yeah, it's like I just got this PS4. Not really, but, you know, like a year or two ago. So I feel like I'm going to get a PS5, and I should have one right now, but I'm probably going to wait a little bit longer. A few months, hopefully, is all. But 2025 is probably the year of the PS5 for this channel. I know it's kind of cringe, like I'm still on a PS4. It works, though. It's fine. It's pretty much no different. It's Gems of War. Who cares? Am I going to have awesome, like, graphics on Gems of War? Maybe my loading bar would go a little quicker. Maybe. Then I play on the computer for everything else, so... The only thing I did was doing Elden Ring. Beg says I installed the game, got the Mythic and 800 glory keys, also 4 new troops I have not played in a while. Trey with the 3, thank you so much. What do we got going on today? We got Trey shooting a 3. Let's see. How do I do that? Fan funding. So Sana with the gifted, Mark with the 2, Chad with the 2, Trey with the 3. Let me heart the Chad. Won't let me heart Trey's because it's a sticker, but do appreciate it. Helps a lot. Keeps me going. Like the main thing that's keeping me going, probably. It definitely ain't views. Alright, let's do this for a minute, then I'm probably going to get out of here. We will be streaming tomorrow, pretty sure. Mrs. Senny's working 6 days a week right now. The one day she's off is the day that I usually have trouble. She'll come up with, what are we going to do today? You know, like, I stream every day. Like, can we at least do it after I'm done? You know, but I don't always win that battle. So I'll be like, I'm just going to stream for an hour. And then I'll stream for 2 hours. To hunt versus, you just do the same thing almost. Except for 3 Iron Hawks if you got them. We're looking for... I don't even know which verse I need, but... We're looking for verse gnomes. Which, like I always say, it's a roll of the dice every single fight. That's why you just want to see the next set of enemies as quickly as possible. So every single fight, every single slot's going to roll. And depending on what it rolls, if it's a 12-sided die, let's say gnomes are 1, 2, and 3 on a vault event because they're turned up a little bit. Like if it's not a vault event, they're a 1 out of 12. So whenever you roll snake eyes, that's when you get a gnome. When it's a vault event, it's turned up, so it's like 1, 2, and 3. So every single slot, every single fight is rolling that 12-sided die. And if it's 1, 2, or 3, it's going to be a gnome. And it may not be exactly like that, but that's a good example of kind of how it works. So, like this fight, we did not roll a 1, 2, or 3 for any slot. We got a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you just got to clear those out. Looks like that guy's surviving, huh? When this happens, just get brown, yellow skulls. Just do it as quickly as you can. It's just every once in a while. If it happens too much, you might switch kingdoms, but... Alright, we got our boss chest. This is the perfect time to run a gap. Because your shards are on 1 out of 100. There's no way you're getting a boss chest during those 15 minutes. No, I don't care how fast you are. There's no freaking way you're getting 100 shards. Let me run a couple more of these so you see this example. Like, hopefully we can at least get a gnome or something. So I'm probably almost done here. Just keep going. You can You get a merchant, you got to know exactly what you're going to do. Like, you're only buying the Dragonite if you're buying the Dragonite in the dungeon. It's the same exact price. It's not a better price or anything. So, you should know what you're going to do here before it even pops up. Like, what color deed are you buying? If you're buying any. Because this will drain your gems quick. If you buy every single thing here, your gems are going to go down, 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 down. So you got to be really careful what you buy from the merchant. And if you don't have a lot of gems, don't buy anything. If you have 2,000 gems, don't buy anything. Unless it's something like amazing that you've been looking for, like your last Nisha medal. Maybe. But like, Dragonite is not a good deal. It's not a better deal than like the dungeon offer. So if you're not buying the dungeon offer every day, why would you buy this one? It's the same ratio. It costs the same per Dragonite. So here, for me, I would get the white pet food, because I don't need Dragonite. Gold is easy to get. Pet food's not as easy to get, so I usually just buy the gold offer just to make it quicker. But if you have a certain amount of gems, think about which color deed you're looking for. Most people are looking for purple, because that's Magic Kingdoms, right? There's our gnome. So this guy rolled a 1, 2, or 3 on the die. And then, depends what... Then the gnome rolls a die. 1 to 12 or whatever. I'm just an example. And then there's rarer gnomes too. So maybe the verse gnome is a 1, 2, or 3. So, okay, we rolled a 1, 2, or 3. We know it's a gnome. It rolls again to see, is it going to be a rare gnome? If it's a rare gnome, it'll hit 1, 2, or 3. If it's not, it's going to be one of the other numbers. So most of the time, it's not going to be a verse gnome, because they're rare. But if you hit a 1 and then a 1, then you get a verse gnome. So that's why they appear less often. They're just rarer. And then every single gnome it rolls a die to see like what loot you're going to get. Are you going to get a vault key? Are you going to get gems? Are you going to get whatever? It's all RNG. And the best way to beat RNG is to just go as fast as you can for as long as you can. Like with anything in this game, if you're looking for the Horde Mimic Mythic, the best thing to do is to open as many boss chests as you can. There's no, like, dance you can do, or weird team you can use, or place you can go. None of that works. You're not going to see Cindy in a red kingdom. That doesn't work. You're not going to see Freddy in a green kingdom, or this certain kingdom. No kingdom gives gnome... It doesn't matter. The best thing to do for kingdom is to go somewhere where it's consistent and easy to kill the enemies and there's no problems. You can't just... If somebody's out there telling you to go to Forest of Thorns and you'll see Freddy, then that's just confirmation bias. That's not how the game works. You just need to kill enemies faster and do it more. If you want to see the correct verse. It's all RNG no matter where you are. So you may just having bad RNG. If you need the green verse and you keep seeing red, brown, blue, it doesn't matter if you switch kingdoms. None of that matters. You just need to kill more enemies quicker. That's the only thing you can do. Rain Man! So yeah, like I said with the merchants, know what you're going to get before it pops up, because that can waste time. You don't want to be like, should I? Yeah? No? Yeah? No? I mean, I don't know. Should I get this Nisha medal? I mean, I have 2,000 gems, and that's 500 of them right there. For a Nisha medal, should I? I don't know. Hey, Becky, do you think I should get this Nisha medal here? I mean, it would be the last one I need, but I only have 2,000 gems. What do you think, Becky? Well, I don't know. Let's add Fred. Like, don't, because then that's just wasting time. You should know beforehand if you can afford it or not and which color you need. Like, some people are going to need green deeds, because Zolkari is amazing. It's the only green Magic Kingdom. So a lot of people are buying green deeds, a lot of people are buying purple deeds. Some high-end, super high-end players are buying some other color because they're already done with their purple, they're already done with their green. Maybe they're buying blue or yellow or brown or something. I'm back around to purple now. So I'm buying purple because I have one of every color on a 20 or whatever it is. 20. So I'm all the way back around to purple. I'm going from my second purple Magic Kingdom to 20. So if you're like, some advice I've given today, if you're not 100% about it, well, I do have one of each color kingdom on 20. And I'm going for my second level 20 Magic Kingdom, so just as some credentials there. I've gotten 500 plus Vault Keys before. I have Stellarix, I have Diamantina. I'm free to play. I've been playing for almost 8 years. So if you doubt anything I'm saying, it's the proof is in the pudding type of deal. I just want to help everybody. There's no incentive for me to like lie or give you bad advice or anything like that. And think of like, why would I say this? Why would I say use Ironhawk and don't switch kingdoms? Like, what would be the benefit to me of saying that if it's not true? Maybe you think I'm just wrong and I'm just like, oh, making stuff up. I don't know. I would then say, I'm not sure. I'd say, I don't know. I'm not sure, but this is the way I do it. If I wasn't sure, that's what I would say. But there's a gnome again. So that goes towards our pity keys too. Could drop a vault key. Dropped garnets. So you can get a lot of diamonds during vault events. You can get a lot of dragonite. You can get a lot of gems. You're not going to see, like, if you look at your gem stack before you start the vault event, and then you look at it after on Sunday, it kind of depends, though. You can't be sitting there and buying a bunch of merchant offers. If you buy 0 merchant offers, and you just play the vault event the best you can, you're going to go up by, like, 2,000-3,000 gems. Just by playing it normally, without getting, like... You don't open vault keys during a vault event. You wait till after. There's no benefit. It's more like, it's like doing a pet rescue during a gap to open vault keys during a vault event. You're fine. You can open them on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There's no point of opening vault keys during a vault event. That's a tricky thing too, because you hear it's the vault event, right? So you think like, oh, the goal is to get vault keys and then open them, but it's not. The goal is to get vault keys, and that's it. And then open them after. Because if you're sitting there opening your vault keys as you get them, you're just wasting time. You could have got more vault keys that you could open on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So you stack them up. You get like however many. If you're a beginner, you try to get at least 100 vault keys. If you're mid game, you try to get at least 200. If you're in game, you try to get at least 300. Those are like the bare minimums that I feel are appropriate. And then you don't open any. 0. You open 0. So after the vault event should end, and you should still have every single vault key that you got during the vault event. You should not open any. Not the epics, not 1 here, 2 there. Just open 0. Because there's no like benefit of opening them during a vault event. You're not going to get like extra special loot. You're not going to... There's no benefit. It's better to wait till after the vault event, because it's just like a time issue. Instead of getting more vault keys, you're sitting there opening vault keys, which instead of, you're doing something instead. It's like doing a pet rescue. You're over there doing a pet rescue when you could be getting more vault keys. And just pets don't matter as much as you think they do. It's just a fact. They're not giving you tons of stats. They don't apply to every single fight you do. They're not like medals. Some people treat pets like... They think pets are like global medals or something. But they're not. Global medals apply no matter what to every fight you do. There's Cindy, so there's a verse gnome. So I'm going to get a red verse. You got to get one of each color. You see, it didn't take too long. Me here talking, not even going as fast as I can go, and I got a verse gnome. So there's the red one. Drops from Cindy Savage Lips use 4 different verses in the Soul Forge to activate a Nomapalooza. So hopefully that would be the one I needed. So I would hunt until I find the one I need. And then if I still have a low amount of Mist Stones, I would go run the gap. I don't even know which one I have the least of. It was Cindy, so I got another Cindy there, so that's perfect. That'd be a good time to go do a gap now. I went until I found the verse I needed. Or you go until you get the boss chest or whatever, if you already have a gap. So I would run a gap now, depending on like where my... like, it's on 35, we're probably fine. I could run a gap right now, most likely, and be fine. So I'd run a gap, right? And then I would go back to verse hunting. Try to find the verse I need, or run my boss chest up to 100. It's just a way to like make it to where you're doing both. We don't want to just like do gaps the entire time, and we don't want to be hunting verses the entire time. You kind of want to go back and forth, back and forth. Unless you're that person that stacked up 100 gaps and you're going to run gaps the whole weekend. But, I don't know. Any questions? Any comments? My chat's back, I think. Yeah, pets during gaps would like... It's just not smart in any... I don't know how anybody can justify it. I never even thought about doing it during a gap. I always thought, like, people are doing it while they're verse hunting or something. Like, a pet pops up in there while they're verse hunting, so they go do the pet rescue real quick to get the one copy of the pet. And it's one they don't have already. Because otherwise, what? If you already have it, and you need 31 copies, and you're going to go get one copy, so what? You're going to get your 5th out of 31? Like, how is that worth it compared to hunting that verse you need or running that gap that you have? You're like taking time away from finding the verse you need or running the gap that you have to go get one copy of a pet. Most likely. I know sometimes you can get 2, sometimes you can get 3, but even if you get the max, who cares? Out of 30, you need 31 to fully ascend. Now, that's you could be like, oh, you don't have this pet at all. Like, you've been looking for this one. Like, I get it if it's like Mini Mimic, Lucky, Moon or something like that, and you have 0 of them, and you want to, like, oh my god, I've been looking for Moon. Like, I get that. But a Nomapalooza is only 15 minutes. A pet is there for however long, 30 minutes or an hour, whatever it is. So finish your gap, and then go get the pet. It's still going to be there. You don't just stop your gap and go to the pet. Even if it's one you really, really, really want. Finish your gap and then go do the pet. If it's something crazy good, like if it's Moon or Mini Mimic or Lucky. If it's just like Yasmin's Dingleberry, who cares? You don't use Yasmin, first of all. Second of all, if you already have a copy, what are you going to get? Your 2nd copy out of 31? Your 3rd copy out of 31? Maybe you get your 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th copy out of 31? Like, what's the... You're better off, like, getting Vault Keys, getting Chaos Orbs, getting a Minion Orb, and then just fully ascending it with the Orb. Because even if you miss and don't get a Minion Orb, you're getting gems, you're getting gold, you're getting souls. If you go to a pet rescue and you miss, you're getting one copy of a pet that does nothing. And you can get the pets you need just from playing the game normally, regularly, doing everything you're supposed to do on a day-to-day basis. You can get enough pets for each kingdom, for your kingdom power. There's a different kingdom every week. There's a pet rescue for that kingdom every week. There's a faction pet. There's an epic trial pet. All you need is 3 fully ascended pets to get to the kingdom power that you think you want to get to. Sometimes you will need 4 pets eventually, but they're not fully ascended. You just need 4 copies. You just need 4 different pets from a kingdom. That's like a requirement later down the line, like powers 26 or something. And you'll get it. It's not worth like wasting a gap or wasting time during a vault event though, because you're gonna get like 0.25% tribute chance. Like, who cares? Get that later. Right now you need gems, you need gold, you need orbs, you need whatever. You need the lovers. You want to get the Wand of Stars. You need Dragon Knight. You want to get Stellarix. Those things are way more important than getting that 0.25% tribute chance for Drifting Sands or something. Like, who cares? That's... Like, pets, who cares? Like, I don't care about pets at all. Like, I really don't. My new account didn't care about pets. So it wasn't like because I'm in game or because I've been playing for so long or whatever. Like, my new account didn't care about pets either. They don't do what you think they do. The only really, really good ones are Moon, Mini Mimic, and Lucky. You can build a really weird, freaking weird team if you want. And have a bunch of stuff applied from pets to that team if you want. But why? When you can just do Stellarix Wand, or you can just do Rowan, or you can just do Tesla, or you can just do some other good team that you know is good. Instead of building some weird giant team so you can get a ton of HP or something stupid. You're never going to use it, though. So why? Who cares? That pet that does extra whatever for beasts only applies if you're using a beast on your team. You know? So it's doing nothing 90-something% of the time. Or you do get a little bit of stats from pets, but think of it more of as like a passive, like, happy other thing that you don't really try for too much, but it's nice. It's like a little bit of, little tiny bit. You're better off building a good team that is synergetic, that has a theme to it, that's 50% start with the mana generation and 2 damage dealers. It's better to build a team properly than it is to build a team around, like, getting a little bit of stats from a pet. Because then if your team is just butt, who cares if you have extra stats? Your team's going to suck. But if your team is amazing and it's getting no boost from any pets, your team's still going to be amazing. You're going to miss out on like 20 HP or something. How is my internet speed? It's supposed to be better. Yeah, I don't know about Puzzle Quest 3, Crow. I'm still learning myself. Sharts. Yeah, I just don't like when you can do whatever you want with the pets, you know? Like I said, it doesn't matter to me either way. It works me up because it's people are wasting time, and I get mad about your resources. That's how you can tell. Like, it's a good. Like, if I only cared about myself, right? If I only cared about myself, I wouldn't get so angry about pets. Like, who cares? Let people go get pets, and let people waste their time, and let people not get as many resources, and let people go to the forum and complain about Sentinels or Stellarix or getting the same egg 50,000 times in a row. Whatever. Let them complain and let them... But for the people that actually come and actually listen, you can tell the difference than people who don't. And they keep doing it. My controller buttons are getting punished. Crow said he burned out his first PS4. Yeah, I read that. Cinerex causes true damage, pain with rants. I mean, how do I do YouTube notifications? Like, we share it out on Discord. I put up a reminder. Like, I stream every day at the same time. There's not much more I can do. I don't think. I just feel like they don't like YouTube doesn't like me because I'm streaming. Like, it's that simple. But I stopped doing the pre-records because somebody, you all know the story. I'm not gonna... Nobody cares either. Everybody loves the frosted fakes. They taste better or something. They got the best dad jokes ever. Roxy says, I only buy a few things with gold. Can't afford to buy anything with gems. I need my gems for the faction events. I have 9 pures left to do. Well, I'm glad you're not spending them when you don't have them. It's kind of like money, IRL. Gems, treat gems like money. You're going to have to pay your rent. You're going to have to pay for your car. You know, you can't just blow it all down to 0 right before you have rent due, right? So why do you blow your gems all the way down to 0? Gems and Gems of War is just like money IRL. You're gonna need gems for the guild event next week. You might have to do that faction, the Pure Faction 500, which costs a lot. Maybe something pops up like an offer that you need super bad. You know what I'm saying? So have enough gems to where you can do those things without running yourself to zero. Like, set a limit and never go under it. That's my advice. My limit right now is like 5,000. Sometimes I go down to like 3,000, whatever. But I will never have 1,000 something gems. I will never have under 1,000 gems. No way. Like, I know, I've been playing too long to know, like, you know, sometimes I'm gonna need that 2,500 gems to get that thing done. And then something's gonna happen back to back to back to back where I need 4,000 gems. So I try not to run myself even down under 5,000. So if you're out there with 500 gems, you can't do anything. If something pops up that you need to do, now you gotta wait another 38 weeks to do it because you ran yourself down to zero. I don't know what you're buying. We need to keep track of somebody's account at some point. Like, show me what you're buying with gems, because that's the first best way to get more gems. The best, and it's boring, I know, but don't spend them. Don't spend them. Don't buy the steak dinner. Go get your 350 bundle. If you're low on money, would you go buy a steak dinner? Even though it pops up, it's flashing at you like, oh, look, a steak dinner, it's rare. Well, you know I can't afford that. I got to get the 350 bundle double cheeseburger. You don't treat your gems like your money, IRL. There's certain things you need to do with your money. There's certain things you need to do with your gems. You're not just going to blow it down to zero, right? Rain Man. Anita with the gifted, thank you so much. Yasmin's Dingleberry, yeah. People like, I don't have Yasmin's Dingleberry. So Chad says you get a mana boost for having the same colored spells on Puzzle Quest 3. I'm trying, Mark. Like, what other reason do I have? I don't get it, why people wouldn't listen. The only thing I could think of is they think I'm wrong. They think I'm wrong or something. Like, but those people think the pet does something that they put on their shoulder, too. And all they have to do is go test it. Put a pet on your shoulder that does something, and then go to your stats or whatever, your bonuses, right? Put a pet on your shoulder that you think is doing something. Go to your bonuses. Look at your bonuses. Take the pet off. Put another pet on and see if your bonuses, they'll stay the same. They won't even change. It doesn't matter what pet you have on your shoulder. Same people that don't believe the stuff I'm saying and they want to go get all the pets in the world and they stop doing gaps to go to a pet, they probably think that the pet on their shoulder is doing something. Crow says, seems like my first spell gets more mana than second. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've been asking that same question. Try scheduling it in YouTube. Maybe that is where he's... I think it's like the people watching have to do the notifications. Like, you have to hit the bell. And even people that hit the bell say they aren't getting notified. Like, it should send out something to everybody that's subscribed. And then people that hit the bell, it, like, make sure that it sends it out to them. It's like, it's not on my end. It's not like something I didn't do on my end. It's something that YouTube's not doing on their end, or something that the viewer's not doing on their end. I'm pretty sure, because I've been doing YouTube for a very long time. I've never heard anybody talking about the streamer sending out notifications. The only thing I can do is put a reminder thing up, which I do a lot of the time, unless it's like a impromptu stream. I can put a thing on Discord. I can put a thing in the community tab. But even those things, you have to get a notification to even know that there's something in the community tab. So it's kind of like, if you're not getting notifications in the first place, what's the point of me putting a notification in the community tab? Because the YouTube would have to notify you that I did something in the community tab for you to then see that I'm notifying you. You know? The bell should help, but it's also not foolproof. So if you want to make sure you know when I'm posting or doing a stream, you hit the bell. But it's also not foolproof. I thought that like streaming at the same time every day would help. Like there's no like who cares if you get notified or not? Just go to the channel at this time every day. And you should see me streaming. You know, hit the live tab or just to make sure. You know, sometimes I'm a little bit late. You could come like check at 10:15. I should never not be streaming at like 10:15. Like I try to get on at 9:30. So if I'm a little bit late, it's like 9:45 or maybe 10. So if you check the channel at 10:15, I'll never be done, and I should be started before. If you want to know for sure, like click on my stupid ugly face at 10:15 a.m. every day, and it should, you know, maybe go to the live tab just to make sure, and you'll know if I'm streaming or not. The only day I don't is Wednesday. And then I post an EverQuest video around noon on Wednesday. And right now, of course, I just moved, so it's you know, once we gotta get back into the groove. I might have a day here or there where, oh, I got my fridge coming, or oh, washer and dryer, or you know, I'm getting appliances delivered, and well, the plumber's got to come and check something, or you know, it might be something here and there. But before we were moving, like I was streaming every single day at 9:30 a.m. And you could just know that without the bell, without YouTube telling you. You just know to click on my channel, and I should be there. And that's what I was trying to do anyway. Like, oh, he streams every day, so it doesn't matter if I get notified or not. All I got to do is go to his channel at this time every single day, and he should be there. That's what I was hoping to do. Beg says you want the spell to get mana first in your spell row. It then fills to the right and circles back. Huh. Yeah, I don't even know. It's good. I think Puzzle Quest 3 is screwing some people up on Gems of War, because in Gems of War it goes from the top to the bottom, and you'll never get mana for your bottom slot until you fill up your first slot. In Puzzle Quest 3, it seems like you still get mana. If you have a purple spell on your first slot and you have a purple spell on your last slot, if you match purple, you'll still get something for your last slot. But in Gems of War, you will get 0. You'll get nothing for your last slot. So I think some people are coming over from Puzzle Quest 3 to Gems of War. That's the only thing I could think of is why people like mana block and they make certain teams like they do. And because how is that troop ever going to get up is what I say. If you have a yellow in first slot, a yellow in second slot, a yellow in third slot, and a yellow in fourth slot, that fourth slot is never getting up. I don't care what you do. Because you're going to cast a spell, and then you're going to fill it up again. It doesn't, like, take turns filling. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but, like, the first slot fills up first, and nothing happens in the second, third, and fourth slot until the first slot is filled. Once the first slot is filled, and you match... then it'll start filling the second slot. But it doesn't touch the third or the fourth yet until you fill the second slot. If you fill the whole first and the whole second slot, then the third slot will start getting whatever color it is. That's why you should do different colors for different slots. That way, if there's no brown in first slot and there's no brown in second slot, and you put a brown in third slot, it'll get all the brown. Because the first and the second slot aren't taking any brown. But if you put a yellow in every single slot and you match yellow, it's only going to the first slot until it's totally full and ready to cast a spell. Like the second slot will get 0 mana until that happens. The third slot will get 0 mana until that happens, and the fourth slot will get 0 yellow mana until that happens. Then what happens is you fill up your first slot, you'll start getting yellow mana for your second slot, and then before you even fill up your second slot full of yellow mana, you're going to cast your first slot. Right? Now it has no mana because you casted it. And now all the yellow goes back into the first slot again. So that's why the fourth slot, if you do the same color, it'll never get up. Because you're going to keep casting first, second, third slot. And they're going to keep opening back up. And they always take priority. Depending, like, first slot gets it, then second, then third, then fourth. So if you keep opening them back up, they're going to keep taking the mana. if you keep casting the spells. So the only way you can fill up a 4 slot that's yellow, and like your first yellow, your second yellow, your third yellow, your fourth yellow, let's say that's all they are. They're just yellow, pure yellow. The only way you could ever fill your 4 slot is by filling up your first, filling up your second, and filling up your third, and then not casting the spell. And then you would fill up your 4th slot, finally. If you did, but that's dumb. Like, why would you do that? You want to cast your spells, you want to win the fight. You don't just want to sit there and fill up your spells. So you got to do different colors. You know, you want at least one different color, because, you know, some troops are like yellow-brown, and yellow-blue, and yellow-green. So at least they can take the blue and the green and the other color. But you can't do like a pure color on the bottom slot. Like an Essence of Evil, which is green on the bottom slot. If you have green on every other... Like imagine it's a green team for a green PvP. You would never put green... You'd never put Essence of Evil in 4th slot, because it would never get up. There's no point. What's it doing? It's doing nothing. It's never going to fill. But in Puzzle Quest, it's different. It's from left to right. For some reason, you know, your other slots will fill even when your first slot isn't ready to go. But in Gems of War, that's not how it works. The people coming over from Puzzle Quest are probably thinking it doesn't matter, but it does. Yeah, that's not how it works in Puzzle Quest 3, yeah. But I better get out of here. Yeah, I don't know about Puzzle Quest 3, Crow. I was talking about Gems of War. In Gems of War, it's top to bottom. In Puzzle Quest, it's left to right, and I don't know. It doesn't work like the same. You can get mana for your farthest right slot, even if you're not full in your first slot. That's my theory as to why people make weird teams on Gems of War. They're coming over from Puzzle Quest. And they just don't understand yet. They think it's the same. But yeah, I'm going to get out of here. Like, share, subscribe. Consider joining. It helps a lot. Tell your good about the channel, comment below. And I'll see y'all next time, which is tomorrow. We'll do spoilers. We'll mess around maybe some more with the new Mythic. Bring your teams. I don't think I'm going to be messing with it, but if I do, I'll let you know. But if I don't, then make sure you bring your teams and show me how good it is or what you think about it. At the moment, I'm thinking in-game players who are getting every single new Mythic, you're going to get it no matter what I say. People that helicopter out of bed and don't wait, you're going to get it no matter what I say. Even though there's no reason to do that at all. Because you can get it tomorrow or the next day or the next day. We got a vault event going on right now, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's no point, no reason for this guy. He's not going to do anything in the vault event, so why are you hurrying up and getting it? Nobody cares. You can still get it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So that's my advice. You know, wait and see. Depends how many keys you got. You don't want to be running yourself to 0 keys on this above average Mythic. And then all of a sudden, here comes Takshaka or Pharaoh Caffrey or Ironhawk, and you need 3 copies. Why not save up your keys so you can be good when that happens? I know, well, unless you're not going to be playing next month. If you're not going to be playing, if you're like, I'm beating this game today or tomorrow, then yeah, I guess you would throw all your keys right now to get this above average Mythic. But if you're playing the game for the long haul, we've seen it. There's been documented, like, recency, Pharaoh Caffrey or Takshaka. 2 of them that you needed 3 of. Don't you want to have more keys just in case? Why are we getting just every Mythic that comes through, every new Mythic every single time, when you don't have a bunch of keys? Why are you running yourself to 0? Let's not run ourselves to 0 on anything, ever. Hunts and skirmishes, I know, I've been doing that. That is good. I like doing that little... I played it yesterday. I gave my opinion yesterday, pretty much. But have a good one, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Spoilers. New Mythic, bring your teams, and more Vault event. And then Sunday, we're going to play Puzzle Quest 3 for the last time. Unless, like, something super crazy happens. Like, it has to be nuts. Because yesterday just made me taste poop. And I don't like it. So it's on my poop list. Puzzle Quest 3 is on my poopy list, and it's going to take a whole bunch to get it off there Sunday, which I'm not expecting, and I don't want... It doesn't matter. It's fine. There's some crazy Puzzle Quest 3 fan out there. Like, I'm speaking to you right now. But otherwise, we're going to move on to the next thing. Doesn't mean we're never playing it again. It's just the thing we're doing right now. So, probably last Puzzle Quest 3 stream, Sunday. That's what's coming up this weekend. Tomorrow, spoilers, Vault Event, New Mythic, Gems of War. Sunday, last Puzzle Quest 3 stream. We gave it a try. It is what it is. And then after that, Marvel Puzzle Quest. Maybe immediately the next week. Maybe we take a week off. I don't know. And then after that, it's kind of up for debate what we're doing. But we got to play Marvel Puzzle Quest for at least 5 streams or so. You know how it goes. The first stream's horrible, then I might only do like 3 streams. But if they're okay, I'll probably give it at least 5. And then if it's doing amazing, I'll give it more and more and more until it stops being amazing. Thanks for joining me today, Crow, Chad, Beg for Mercy, Mark, Juan. We got Beg, we got Chad, we got Crow, we got Mark. We got Anita with the gifted went to Philip Jenner. Thank you so much, you're the best. Classic EverQuest was here. Rain Man, Anita, Crow. MJK Jets, Roxy. We got Crow, we got Mark, we got Chad, we got Trey with a 3, Trey with a Trey. Geedralis with the good team. Faceless one. Good to see ya. Frank, Mark, Crow, Chad. Tyrion Shark, good to see Tyrion. And that's all I can see because my chat was being dumb and I had to restart it a bunch of times, so I can't remember who was first. Probably Sana, Mark, and Anita. I don't know. Chad. My usual suspect is my guess. But I'll see y'all. Good job, Roxy. You got it. Congrats. Hey, now just make sure you save it. Don't get tempted. Let's just save it till you see that dragon. It has to happen. We've already seen like 3 of them, right? 2 or 3 of them. So the maximum you'll have to wait is 9 weeks. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's way better than opening 4 random eggs and not getting it. And then you have to save up another 550 and another, you know? I would just wait. It's your last one, so there's no depends about it. You know what I mean? If it's your last dragon, there's no reason not to wait. It'll be there. So you just gotta... It might not be next week. It might not be the week after that. But it doesn't have to be 9 weeks. It could be next week. It could be. So, hopefully you get lucky and it's next week. But yeah. We'll see y'all. Have a good one. You're the best. Peace out. Today was much better. I do appreciate it. Let's get better and better. Let's get back into the